Devil May Cry is a character action hack and slash game developed by Capcom, released in 2001. It was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 4, but as they developed it, they realised it becomes something else, something truly groundbreaking. It's a game I played a few times over the years. I first played on the PS2 back in the day. It's always been enjoyable and challenging for me. Whenever I watch videos about the series, it always seems to be coming from people that are great at the game, like they can get S rank on every stage. Which is fine, good for them, but I think we need more videos from people that are just okay at the game, who don't know what jump cancelling is, who get mostly A, Bs and sometimes S rankings. Well, people like me. So how is Devil May Cry for someone like me? Let's find out. First, the story. You play as the son of Sparta, Dante, half demon, half human, all demon hunter, who is struggling to find work. Then Trish, a mysterious woman, literally rides a motorcycle through Dante's front doors and offers him a job to go to Malay Island. It's spelt mallet, but who am I to criticise someone's spelling? To stop a demonic invasion by a powerful demon named Mundus, who is responsible for killing Dante's mum and brother Virgil. Mundus is planning to cross over to the human world from the demon world, and Dante is the only one who's able to stop him. It's an alright story, fairly basic, it has a very cheesy tone, but it's still incredibly charming, with a bit of heart behind it as well. I also like the gothic horror vibe the game has. It takes place in an old castle which just looks kinda creepy. The game has some really well shot cutscenes for the time. It's not a very long game, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to beat, and most meaningful cutscenes take place towards the end. Cutscenes in the first half of the game normally consist of you meeting a boss. They say something like, "I'm gonna kill you easy, human," and then you meet them again and beat them, and they're like, "You've got Sparta's blood in you," and then they die. My favourite part is when you beat the second boss, it starts asking Mundus to give him more power to beat you. Then Mundus steps in and kills him like, oh fuck, this Mundus guy isn't messing around. It gets more interesting in the second half when a couple of twists and turns happen. Spoilers for a 20-plus-year-old game ahead, but there is not much to spoil. Go to this timecode to skip. The one twist hits a lot harder if you've played the other later games in the series. A boss you fight 3 times over the course of the game called Neo Angelo is revealed to be Virgil, Dante's thought-to-be dead brother. My issue is it didn't really land for me when I first played it. Virgil isn't set up in this game, we don't know anything about him beforehand other than he's dead, and this is only mentioned once before, the reveal. It's cool if you played 3 or 5, you can be like, oh shit, it's Virgil, I know him. But if you're just playing this game, you'll probably be like, okay, I guess Dante has a twin. Plus you kill him, so I guess you'd be like, well, he's dead again, oh well. The other twist revolves around Trish, and she's working for Mundus. Like, yeah, it's kind of obvious looking back. We know nothing about her. When you first get to the island, she's like, follow me, and then abandons you immediately, like thanks. Dante says she looks just like his dead mum, so that was a red flag for me. Mundus created her to look like that, so she could convince Dante more easily. I just wish we had more time to get to know Trish, so maybe the reveal hit a bit harder. Also, the ending has Dante and Trish crying over each other, which is good. It means Trish is part human because devils never cry. It's a nice moment and a nice line, but I'm just not buying these two care for each other that much. They barely interacted. They do save each other's lives when they didn't have to, but to me that wasn't enough. I guess that's my problem with the story. Overall, it's very bare bones. Just a few more scenes to flush out the characters would have went a long way. Also, why the fuck did Mundus give Trish enough power to be able to kill him? Like, brother, what was you thinking? The story seems to be focused on making Dante seem as cool as possible, which worked to me as a kid. Hell, it still works on me now. He has a lot of one-liners, is very cocky, and can pull off some crazy shit like shooting a bike so it stays in the air, or getting impaled by a sword, levitating off of it, and dual-wielding guns is always sick. The character designs are also on point in this one. This is my favourite look for Dante in the series. I love how his red outfit is contrasted with his white hair. I also like Trish's design with the lightning bolt on her chest, because she has lightning powers. So it has a good story, but DMC is famous for the gameplay, so how's that? The combat blew me away as a kid, everything else though, not so much. Let's start with the combat. It's fun but challenging. You can only use one melee weapon and one gun at a time. You will mostly be using melee, which is bound to one button. You can perform different moves by delaying button inputs. What do I mean? So basically, your basic combo will happen if you mash the Y button 3 times in a row. If you want to do a different move, you have to press Y, wait a sec, and press it again to do a different move. It can be a bit difficult to get different timings down. If you're like me, you will mostly be doing the basic combo, which is enough to get you through the game. You can also perform different moves depending on which way you hold the stick, and depending on which way Dante is facing, and if you hold the lock on. So if you want to perform a stinger, you have to hold forward and press Y. If you want to launch enemies into the air, you have to hold backwards and press Y. It depends on which way Dante is oriented, not the camera, which can be confusing. Guns can be used by holding the lock on button and pressing X. These are not meant to be used all the time, they're more there to keep your combo going so you don't lose it when you're trying to get towards an enemy that's far away. I pretty much use the shotgun for the whole game. It does a good amount of damage if you're up close, and I can deal with certain enemies like the skulls in one hit. It always annoyed me how much Dante uses his pistols in cutscenes considering how little damage they do during the gameplay. The game also has a slightly annoying auto lock-on system. Dante will almost always swing towards an enemy despite the fact you are holding the stick in a different way. He'll do this a lot even if you can't see the enemy he's going for. It's the most annoying when you have to hit these symbols a few times to activate something, and he keeps doing a 180 to hit an enemy instead. You can unlock more melee weapons as you progress through the game, like instead of using a sword you can punch and kick with these flame gauntlets, which you can hold down the attack button to charge. You can also get more guns like a grenade launcher, which is useful if you're struggling against certain enemies because of its high damage. Like I always use it to deal with these ice guys because fuck them. Later into the game you unlock Devil Trigger. These change depending on which melee weapon you have equipped. They all come with a powerful boost, regenerate lost health, and can change Dante's appearance to be more demonic. He gets a cool aura around him as well, which looks cool. These are always fun to use. It also recharges quite quickly when you hit enemies, so you can use it often. The Demon Gun uses your Devil Trigger as ammo, which is why I don't use that gun. The game doesn't have any tutorials. You can look up moves in the menu. I guess this game came out when manuals were a thing and they expected you to read it. The only time one comes out is for the underwater sections, which we will get to. The game encourages you to be as stylish as possible by giving you a style meter at the top of your screen. This is shown by a letter D through S, ranking D, which isn't very stylish, and S, which is the most stylish. You're supposed to keep a combo going and use a variety of moves to get an S rank, which I wasn't very good at. For me to get an S rank, I would normally meant I was hitting more than one enemy at one time. Combos and move varieties didn't seem to make much of a difference. The more stylish you are, the more red orbs you can get, which is the game's currency. This is used to buy moves and items at the shop. Items get more expensive the more you buy them. My issue, which I don't know how to resolve, is that people who can get S ranks all the time probably don't need lots of orbs to buy stuff, but people who are shit at the game won't have enough orbs to buy stuff like health upgrades, which could help get them through the game. It encourages people like me to get better, to get more rewards, but most high-end players will probably have loads of orbs left over when they beat the game, because they don't need them to buy health items. Like a struggling player might waste all their orbs trying to get health items, which means they haven't got enough money to get more moves, which would help them get a higher rank. If you give lower rank players more orbs, that's not going to encourage people to go for higher ranks. But then the people who go for higher ranks might actually enjoy the challenge of having less orbs. I don't know, it's a problem, I don't know how to fix it. Let me tell you how I got through the game, because it can be quite hard. I stuck to the Alistair sword because it has the most useful Devil Trigger, at least for me. I get the Stinger and Air Raid upgrades as soon as I can. Stinger is incredibly effective against some bosses, like the Scorpion one. I can spam it to kill him quite quickly. Air Raid is going to be the most important though. This let me fly around in the air and spam lightning attack at enemies. It does quite high damage and most enemies can't hit you whilst you're flying about. I could use this often as the Devil Trigger recharges fast, if I could land a few hits with the sword. As I mentioned earlier, I stuck with the shotgun because it did good damage and can hit multiple enemies at once. I would then use any orbs I got to buy blue and purple orbs to upgrade my max health and Devil Trigger. You also have to go into the menus to swap weapons, so it can be a bit annoying doing it that way. That's why I just stuck with the same ones. Sure, this won't give you a high rank and it probably won't work on hard mode, but this is how I get through the game. It's fun for me and it works. I'm sure hardcore players are going to say I'm shit or I need to get good, but I don't care. This is how I managed to beat the game as a kid, and it's how I like to beat it now. This is the hardest game in the series in my opinion. Enemies hit hard and are fast, so just getting through it and having a good time is enough for me. Also, 0.83% of people haven't beaten hard mode, at least according to the Xbox achievement, so I don't think I'm in the minority. There are a variety of enemies in the game that have cool designs. The puppet ones are quite creepy. Some require different tactics to fight. Boss fights that stand out though. They all have good introductory cutscenes. The one where Dante is in the mirror but isn't copying his moves is especially cool. They all require concentration to fight. You'll have to keep an eye out for openings, and they don't do that thing where they spawn minions to distract you. The last boss fight is the worst however. It turns into a Space Harrier mission where you have to fly around and shoot the boss. It really doesn't mesh well with the rest of the game. Another thing that doesn't mesh well was the swimming. It only happens like 3 times during the game. You go into first person, the controls are inverted, and there's this muddy water effect applied to the screen. I could have done without these. So that's the combat. How's everything else? Mid at best, unfortunately. You run incredibly slow. You can tell where this was supposed to be a Resident Evil game. You have to find a lot of items to unlock doors and solve what are supposed to be puzzles. They're just kind of half-assed. It's like someone went, the focus is combat, but we've already made all these items. Well shit, just throw them in the game anyway. Puzzles are normally a bit of text giving you a riddle, and the answer is always go the only way you can go until you find the only item you can find, and then come all the way back to open the way forward. When I was a kid, I would try to figure out the riddles, but there's no need. You don't even have to read them. It's just telling you to go find a random item, which can be a trident or an orb, and then come back. The map is quite small, so you'll be backtracking a lot through it. The game also uses Resident Evil inspired fixed camera angles, which I like. These can be used to make areas like the castle look bigger and more intimidating than it is. I also find them nice to look at, and some angles are very pretty. The camera angles have an old school charm to them, but can get in the way of gameplay though. They can be frustrating during combat, enemies can be hidden out of view or the camera won't change when you need it to. During the Nightmare boss fight I couldn't see the boss's weak point because of the camera angle. The game uses a mission based structure, it'll give you a goal and a picture as a hint of where you're trying to get to. Some of these missions aren't good though, some can be like a minute long, like what's the point? They do a cool thing where sometimes you play for a bit and then the mission screen comes up, which I liked. You can also access the shop from the mission screen, but normally a shop statue will be there in the level almost immediately. I think the game didn't have a mission structure till late in the development. It was probably more of a Resident Evil explore the map kind of thing. There are also secret missions found in a level which are incredibly hard, but you do get a sliver of health upgrade from them if you can do them. The graphics are pretty good for a 2001 game. It has some visual flair, but it's definitely aged. You can feel the horror atmosphere throughout. There are nice details like when it's night time, the moonlight will shine through the window. The demon world is also suitably creepy with its pulsating walls. Face models don't look the best, Triss especially looks strange in the close-ups. The music is good, there's a nice mix of heavy metal and techno tracks to get you pumped while you're fighting. Voice acting hasn't aged well. There are a few line deliveries that maybe go, ooh, maybe do another take there, it's a bit stiff. Dante's cry towards the end is iconic, but not in a good way.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
So overall, I still enjoyed playing through Devil May Cry. You gotta respect how groundbreaking this was, and it still mostly holds up today. Dante is iconic. Combat is fun and challenging. It's just when it's not focusing on combat, it's not the best. They clearly laid the groundwork for so many great games to improve upon. It's therefore worth a play through though if you haven't before. It just might take some getting used to is all. So let's rank it. I'm feeling number 7. It's above Onimusha, which DMC has a lot in common with. I just prefer the style of DMC overall. It's also above another groundbreaking classic, System Shock, which I enjoyed but had too many frustrating moments for me. I don't think I could put it above Split Fiction, which was fun from start to finish, and I think the narrative was stronger. So yeah, number 7, respectable. I have a feeling other games in this franchise are going to be way higher though. 3, 5. That's all folks, I'm going to go fill someone's dark soul with light.